A statue of William Butler Yeats crafted in bronze by Rowan Gillespie erected in 1989 to commemorate the 50th anniversary of his death. Not enough? Would you like to know more? Well, I am here to roll you right off this cliff into a quarry of knowledge. Rest assured, I have a bit more room than a statue.
William Butler Yeats was born the 13th of June 1864 in Sandymount Avenue, Dublin. Creativity runs through his family's veins. His father John B. Yeats was a painter, while his younger brother, Jack B. Yeats, was the first person from Ireland to win an Olympic medal in the 1924 Summer Pairs Games. His painting The Liffey Swim won silver in the arts and culture segment of the Games. Yeats moved around in his childhood. As consequence, his education was sporadic. His mother peppered segments of geometry and chemistry with Irish folktales. Have hope if there are any friends out there struggling in academia.
I struggled in high school.
This literary legend was described as only fair in structured education. He was very poor at spelling and math. These struggles were attributed to being tone deaf. Despite his middling efforts in school, his first published works were in the Dublin University Review in March 1885. Songs of the Fairies and of Voices both reflected his mother regaling him with of Irish folklore.
Action is part of the equation of being an artist, and not just a poet. But we're receiving thousands of poetry submissions.
Yeah, literally
every year.
Yeah.
And we're publishing about 10 to 12 poetry books in a year.
Yeah.
And the math of that is very difficult, I think, in one way for poets probably to hear.
He would continue to develop these themes in his works. His 1869 collection The Wandering of Oisin and other poems were influenced by mythic Irish heroes. He found his muse in Maud Gonne. Though she rejected his marriage proposals, he dedicated his 1892 drama The Countess Kathleen to her. In 1917 Yeats married Georgie Hidley, and during the early stages of the marriage he and his wife dabbled in automatic writing. This spiritual activity expanded his theories about human nature and history. The Ataxic video maker's favorite poem, The Second Coming, was published in 1920 in Dial. It was written in the aftermath of World War I.
Huh? We weren't living actually in the sense of the word. It was just punishment. Can you imagine yourself standing out there in all kind of weather, hail, rain, frost and snow? Any bit of food you got, you ate to go, mind you, that's another thing. If you had a bit of food you were saving for a rainy day, the only safe place for it was in your stomach. There's the rats that find it no matter where you put one. What with the lice eating the flesh off the live ones and the rats scourging themselves on the bodies of the dead.
Yeats was elected senator for the Irish Free State in 1922. He used his position and poetry to reflect a desire for public order, omission of individualism in order to collectively serve the state.
Wait, this person's a fan. I'm so sorry. I'm such a...
During his 2 terms, spanning over 6 years, he continued to publish his works. In 1923 Yeats, following in his brother's footsteps, was the first person from Ireland to win a Nobel Peace Prize in November 1923 for his creative and inspired works.
The vast majority of conflicts in the world are about the same thing. They're about difference. Whether difference is your religion, or your nationality, or your race. And the answer is the same. One which we always use, that difference is an accident of birth. It's a very simple message to put across. But when you keep putting it across to a community, it eventually gets through. And that since difference is an accident of birth, one could have been born into the other community. There's not 2 people in the whole world who are the same. Difference is of the essence of humanity.
The chairman of the Nobel Committee remarked his eloquence bestowed a voice on the whole nation. Yeats remained faithful to his love of writing until his death, with a prolific career spanning from 17 years old until he penned his final collection, New Poems. Yeats' rich works stand as his legacy, which continue to inspire folks to this day.